Hey, hi, how you going? It's your mate Vostride, and today we're going to take a look at two of the best methods for getting XP. Let's check it out. Okay, so technically speaking, it is only one mechanism that we're going to be looking at today, but you can use this in different ways depending on how you want to go about leveling your pals. So the first method that I'm going to show you can be done while AFK, which means you can just chill out and watch a movie while you level your character or your pals, and it's also going to be doable much earlier in the game, so it's going to be more appealing for early to mid-game players. The second method, however, is going to be much faster and is going to allow you to level 4 to 5 pals within just a couple of minutes, but you do have to be a higher level to get this one going. However, both methods are going to fundamentally exploit the Mercy Ring, which is a neat little item you can buy from the merchant in the small settlement, and it's going to make it so that your enemies can't be killed because you're only going to be able to reduce their health to 1. But thankfully for us, the way that Palworld's XP system works is that we don't just get XP for killing enemies, we're actually going to get XP just for doing damage to them as long as we kill them eventually. So let's see what that looks like in practice. So for this first method, we're going to need a few more items in addition to the Mercy Ring that we already talked about. So start out by going ahead and crafting yourself a handheld torch, which you can unlock as early as level 1. And we're going to use this to apply the burned status effect, which is how we're eventually going to kill the enemies despite wearing the Mercy Ring. And this is a critical point to note because this method doesn't work if you simply take the Mercy Ring off to get the kill. Unequipping the Mercy Ring will for some reason cause you to lose the XP from the damage that you did while you were wearing it, which is probably because they didn't want players to be able to do all the bad things that we're about to do to poor little Chickapee here. And the second item we need is the Terra Prisma, which you can acquire from the chest at the end of the new Tides of Terraria dungeon that's going to be located over at the Sealed Realm of Terraria Wayshrine at -420, -795. Now, to be clear, any old Terra Prisma will do. You don't need to go ahead and get yourself the legendary version. The common version is going to suffice just fine. But now that you've got all of the items, go ahead and find yourself an unwilling victim, trap them in with some wooden walls, ensure that you've got your Mercy Ring equipped and the pals in party that you want to level up, and then let the beating begin. So as you can see, your Terra Prisma is just going to keep wailing on the pal while you go off and relax, read a book, play some tunes, or whatever else it may be. And after some initial testing, I found that it takes about an hour to fully level a pal from 1 to 65 on default settings. So go ahead and pop 5 pals in your party, and your times might vary a little bit depending on how much damage you're doing and what your XP rate is set to. But once you feel like Chickapee has sufficiently paid for all the crimes of humanity, you can put it out of its misery by equipping your handheld torch, lighting it on fire, and letting it burn to death so you can finally cash in on that sweet XP. But if you're more of a sweaty endgame player and need to level up a whole bunch of raid pals really quickly, or you just prefer the idea of mass murder over individual torture, then this second method might be the one for you. So for this one, we're going to replace the handheld torch with the flamethrower, which can be unlocked in your tech tree at level 52. Once you've crafted that, head over to the Moonflower Entrance Wayshrine on the Sakurajima Island and place yourself a pal box roughly here. Then, same as before, go ahead and ensure that you've got the Mercy Ring equipped, but this time you only want to have 4 party pals for leveling and 1 lead pal that you need to be able to mount and do a whole bunch of AoE damage with. So for me, I like to use this endgame Bastagor, who has Holy Burst and Glacial Impact, but you can use whichever pal you like. Now you can go ahead and charge up your Terra Prisma Blades before heading over to the gate of this enemy base, where you want to start spamming your AoE attacks to draw the aggro of all the enemies within. And as you're seeing here, we're going to do a ton of AoE damage to all of these guys, but we're not going to be able to kill any of them because of the Mercy Ring. But that's not going to matter yet because we just want to accrue that damage XP, and after about 2 minutes of this, you can dismount, swap over to the flamethrower, open the gate, and finish these guys off. And there you go. As you can see, we're getting millions of XP almost instantly on default settings, and our pals are going to shoot all the way up to level 65. But that's everything for today. Let me know in the comments section down below which of the two methods you prefer, but otherwise, thank you for watching. I'll catch you next time. Have a good one.